Alrighty, folks. So the key itself, I know I called it a one-time key, and I was like, oh, should I have to make a data model where, true false, was it used or is it dirty? We could do that, but I think for now, let's not call it a one-time key, or we'll call it a one-time key, but let's just kind of define it as a key, basically. So, so it's more of like a streaming kind of key, like it could be used over and over and over, and once again, or whatnot. But yeah, folks, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So I'm trying to identify this all. It looks like we've got all the rough working parts. I might change some definition names then, because it's not really an organization. It's more of an arena. Now that I think about it, the reason why I call it an organization, that's like the easiest way to wrap our heads around it. But I think an arena is probably a better understanding of what we're actually building here. So let me redefine some of these things. Create arena, uh, generate arena, and then let's update our code base. The reason for that is because it's like an organization sounds big, and it's like, hey, this could be freaking like a company and stuff, but it's really not like a big old company. You know what I mean? It's more just it's more like an area where it where you kind of can access secure things, secure files or documents. It's like a ring fence, around something. It's not like technically an organization. It could be an organization. Your organization could use it, certainly, but it's not really an organization, I'd say. So let's just update some of our definitions here, and same with one-time key. I think that's not really the best naming convention, if you will. Gives arenas. And then obviously we'll have to change the front end as well and the database. And same with one-time key. Let's just call it key, or access key, maybe. Seems probably too easy to call it an access key. So, but let's do that. Let's do that. Because it's not it's not like we could make it one use, but the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe it's just kind of multi-use. Maybe someone can Boolean value make it a one-use access key, but maybe it's a multi-use access key. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, folks, instead of making things very granular or particular, if you will. Okay, and our code base pretty much should be. Oh, I see Prisma needs to be updated. Prisma generate. And let's actually drop the DB once more. Migrate reset, yes. And then npx Prisma generates and npx Prisma migrate add. Excuse me, migrate dev name add init. Okay, so we should be cleared up DB now. We should have arenas as the name. Instead of one-time key, we should have access key. And yeah, so we got our key, user ID, asset ID. I like it. I like it. It's cheap. It's dirty. But the logic is making sense to me, because it's like you have this ring fence arena. You as a user need to set up your ring fence arena. Now you can kind of add stuff to said ring fence arena, right? And then you could whitelist people for that said ring fence arena, right? That kind of makes sense. Okay, so ring fence arena should hold assets. And let's see, Prisma generate, that makes sense. Actually, let's think this through a bit. So arenas hold assets and users. That makes sense. They do not hold access keys, right? The relationship is users. Now, what holds the keys? The secured asset holds the keys. This is the user ID that's whitelisted. So whitelist ID, or who is using. What's the best way? Access key, because it's not for the arena. It's for a secured asset, which is super important to think about from a model orientation standpoint. Okay, so user ID and the secured asset would belong to a user. The question is which user, and the user needs to have an access key, right? Excuse me, secured assets. So that, let's think this through for a sec. So the user is related to the access key. This is the guy who's building said key. This access key is who's whitelisted. So whitelisted ID, or IDs, I suppose. That makes sense too. Because it could be many. Okay, why isn't it not letting me space these all out appropriately? So it looks half decent, right? Don't want it all disorganized. Okay, and then finally, we'll probably need to add user ID to access key, yeah. Let's go our user. Let's require phone and email. Face ID, we'll work on that. That's going to be their biometric scan deal, but for right now, we'll just pretend it's a string value. I think this is all I need, folks. At least from a rough bird's eye data model view. I think we're in there. Okay, let's see. So now we need to go back through. When a user is created, do they have to be right here? Let's drop the DB and update it. Prisma migrate. Reset. Then MPX Prisma generate. And then MPX Prisma migrates dev add name init. Okay, so Tom needs to include his phone now. So his phone number is 12345678990. And does he need to include access key, though, is the question. I don't think he does. User create. What are we missing? Phone, name, face ID. Argument phone is missing. I literally put, it's missing in the actual. code here. That'd do it. Okay, so now Tom is back. We've got his phone number. You have to have a phone number to use this. We'll need to make sure people know that too. Users should be good. Arenas should be good. Secured asset. So we are going to put a secured asset next to an arena. And then the one-time key is now called access key, so that's not going to fly. Okay, I think we're roughly in the clear. I know that was a lot of shifting, and I guess the other bit we can maybe do logs, but let's pause on that to see. You know, just roughly how this whole shtick works before we start logging. So we've got an arena, we've got a user named Tom, so he just signs up, and then he's probably queued to say, hey, you should probably create an arena. So then he's prompted to do that. Creates a arena. And what do we need for the arenas? Name, created and secured asset. Is that all we need? Users associated to the arena? Like, how do we securely associate users to that arena? Is the question. But let's just pretend this thing exists still. Okay, so anybody can create it, but we need to associate users to it. We can do that in a moment. But you're prompted to create an arena. And then now the next bit, you're prompted to upload secure assets. And I think we don't need to change much here. Arena is missing. Oh, we do need to include arena ID. And you belong to this arena, right? Oh. And secure the asset needs to actually have the arena. Boom, we're in there, folks. We're in there. And then we can issue keys for said arena. Duh. Why didn't someone tell me this? Duh. Duh. All right, let's see. So then your asset ID, and we need a few bits here. So our asset ID, oh shit, the access key has gotten quite verbose. I don't like whitelisted IDs. Let's just do whitelist ID for right now. I don't know. Whitelisted user ID. It's very close, but that works. Or should we say cleared user ID, maybe. All right, fuck it. We can do a few. Okay, so Prisma migrate. We are going to reset. Oops, I was in the middle of working, chat. Okay, let's see. This is cool. This is really cool. Like we're almost kind of getting to the whole thing functioning a bit, playing nice together. So MPX Prisma. Oop. Prisma deleted. Okay, NPX Prisma generate. Guys, it is crazy times right now too. That like the things are getting a little heated up on the globe. Not too stoked about it, personally. Regardless of who's in the right, who's in the wrong, all that stuff. Not too stoked. You know what I forgot is who owns the arena. Who owns the arena? Yo, daddy buys the lake. My daddy owns the lake. I got no idea how the quote goes. Okay, we can add that in a moment, but here's the arena. Security guards number 1. Secure asset belongs to security guards number 1. And here's the owner ID of said asset. And then we need 1 key from said asset. And then we're going to need a bunch more stuff too. So asset ID, this will be cleared. User IDs. Oh, that's the croissant of the shell there. So cleared user IDs. We need another user. So let's say this user is Bill. He's security guard 2 at test.net. His phone number is exactly the opposite of Tom's. Impressively, one might say. Okay. And he's a cleared user ID for this access key. Expires at... can't remember. Do we declare access expiration? We do. Okay, so this would be the parameter to adjust if someone wants to adjust their access key timing. Okay, so we say access key, asset ID. We got it all in there. Cleared user ID. I think we're good to go. No, missing something here. 404. Because we queried one-time key, which is access key. Let's try once more. And we are missing something. User is missing. Ah, I see. So we need a one-time key. User. This would be Bill. Yeah, no, this would be the other user. Tom. Let's get Tom's name and ID here. So he would be the owner of this asset, and Bill would be the one trying to access the asset. Yeah. But we're still messing something up here. Argument user is missing. Interesting. So we got argument users missing. But it wants user, yeah. Connect user ID. No, we don't want all their assets. We just want user with said user ID. Unless we have to put secured assets, which I think we do. Okay, secured assets. asset ID, but how do we... Oh, I see. Let's try once more, maybe. No. Asset ID, const access key. We're gonna get it, folks. Unknown argument, asset ID. We are gonna get it. I've got strong faith. So this is a bit confusing, but what we're doing is drawing the connections between these things. So this user, or like this asset now belongs to this arena, for instance. If I could like draw a line, it belongs to this. Belongs to this owner too, which is Tom. So that's the connection there. And then the access key needs to go to Bill because Bill is trying to access the secured assets. So I wonder if I could just not do these relationships. Say owner ID. Let's keep it simple. And say asset ID and whitelisted ID. Let's just keep it plain Jane fucking simple. It's not a migrate out. We need to fix said asset here, and then down the road we'll need some security measures of kind of making sure that all these things are secure, that the asset belongs to that arena, that you know, whitelisted user is a legitimate user, things like that. Cleared user ID. I actually like this a lot simpler. And owner ID is going to be this one. I think that's all we need for the access, yeah? No, 500. Argument users missing. I think we just need to drop the DB once more. It's always the go-to. Just go flush the data. Data, that's not valuable at all. That's not valuable. Not anymore. Not in 2025. Don't need that shit. Don't need that shit. Okay, so let's Prisma generate and then MPX. Prisma migrate. Dev add init. Okay, we'll need to get all these proper keys again, but let's just make sure this works. Come on, maybe, come on. What are we missing? Argument users missing. What are you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? We don't need a user. What you talking about, Willis? Argument users missing. Access key, create access key. Owner ID. We don't need fucking user. I don't even think it's listed anymore. Yeah. I will kill the server, rerun it, make sure it's all up to date. Maybe that's what it is. Argument whitelisted ID. Owner ID. Owner ID, that keeps it easy. And whitelisted ID. There we go. There we go, folks. Okay, so that key can now be built. There it is. All right, so let's run through all the process. User signs up. Tom Let's say it's now Bill who's signing up, roles reversed, and Tom signs up. And Tom is security guard 1. We could keep the same roles actually. Security guard's number 1. They have an asset here. And it's maybe Tom's asset, so let's see. I don't like that this thing's so wide. So we could say width 1/2. Okay, that'll help keep some of that stuff at bay. Okay, so Bill is going to be the, let's make Tom still the owner of everything. So owner ID, Tom. Arena ID is going to be part of this security guards group, numero uno. So he can build that, and then the one-time key, or excuse me, the asset or access key. Let's rename that so it's all congruent. Guys, this is coming together great. So secure asset goes there. That's the asset ID. The owner is going to be Tom. Folks, we're drawing some lines together. It's starting to make sense in my brain. Bill is going to be the whitelisted user ID. He's trying to view the asset. And Tom is going to be the owner ID. He's trying to show Bill the asset. So we've got keys, relationships, functions. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do.